how's it going, my truant people? Dr. Slacking, the Slacking Doctor, back for week 4, I believe. I think that's right, week 4, yeah, of the UBL. As this week, your Forest Green Snovers go up against QtheCostaRican and his Chicago Dragapults. I'm just looking off the side to open up things to write down his team. So, yeah, we did pretty well last week, bouncing back after a tough week against Vepsis. I won't lie, I don't feel 100% at the races today. But that's okay. We all have those days. Hopefully we can still pull it back. Huge thank you to Q for being really good with scheduling and just generally being super laid back, chilled guy. He seems like a very cool guy. Right. So we're going to lead off with Magnezone here. The reason being I haven't got any removal, and this essentially limits... Oh, he didn't bring the Berserker. So sad. This essentially limits him to 1 layer of spikes guaranteed if he's Sash, Lead, Spikes, Frostlass, which seems really necessary because I don't want 3 spikes going up with no removal on my team. So we've got a little bit of time. So Persian, Frostlass, and Finny. Okay. I dare say the Finny is some sort of setup variant. Look at this team. The Raikou could also be a setup variant. Rillaboom could be. Moltres, I think, will be a bulky pivot. No Avalugg, so if there's removal, it's on the Moltres or possibly the Finny. Okay, let's get into this. Yeah, I wonder if the Moltres has got default. Let's type that in, and that music is way too loud in my headphones. Way too loud, so let's turn that right down. Ooh. Make sure everything's recording okay. We seem to be fine there and there. Am I in line with the green screen? Ooh. Actually need to move a little bit over for the green screen, so hopefully I wasn't too cut off for the beginning of that. Okay, let's get everything else ready. Let's get focused. Let's get in the zone for this. The Magnezone. Haha. No, don't do that. Alright, so the specifics of this set, and he didn't bring his ground type, which is amazing, is I click Specs Analytic Volt Switch. If he's not an incredibly bulky set, I bring him down to his Sash. I can then pivot straight into Tyranitar, get Sand up, and this thing dies. If he is a pretty bulky set and for some reason I don't bring him down to his Sash, he should always be in Ice Shard range from my guy Abomasnow, and then we could just Ice Shard. So that was really the thinking here. In this case, he went down to his Sash, so we make sure he only gets 1 layer of spikes up. The counter lead worked perfect. It was about the best I could do, other than like Scarf, Rock Blast, Tyranitar, which wouldn't have been hideous in this matchup, but I didn't want to do that, really. Didn't want to do that. Didn't seem worth it. So we get Sand going, which is always nice. And we crucially take down the Frostlass. So we're up now 6-5. He's got a Spike in exchange for one of his Pokemon. I think Spikes are excellent, so it's not great. And I don't have heavy duty boots on anything because they're for cowards. We don't run boots around here. We just outplay hazards. Turn 1 by letting them go up. So he might not have defog on anything. I've watched some of his games. He seems to like this thing banded a lot. So I want to calc immediately the kind of damage it's doing. I hope this recording isn't lagging because it looks as though it's possibly lagging a little bit. Rilla, easiest switch in the world. We're Rocky Helmet specifically because this thing has a pretty good chance of knocking us off early, if not right now. And so leftovers didn't seem worth it. If we're going to get knocked off, might as well get something out of my item and get some chip. Or if he U-turns, we punish the U-turn and he doesn't get his Grassy Terrain recovery immediately because he's switching out. So, okay. And it also makes it easier to calc because I don't have to worry about catching how much damage he did before leftovers. So, Adamant Banded is plugged in. I'm not sure he'll be banded here because against a Skarmory, it's a little bit interesting. But I know that he ran it against a Corviknight recently, so it's not beyond belief. 158 we went down to. So we did 11 points of damage, which is 7%. U-turn. Oh, that's Adamant Banded. That's the only way. I mean, that shouldn't even do that much. That's like a max roll. It's a 6.5 is max for Adamant Band. And he did apparently 7, so don't know how that's happened, unless I've got the wrong set here. I'll check that in a second. For right now, we'll go into our dedicated Moltres switch in if he wants to click U-turn again. We'll find out. If he wants to click Will-O-Wisp, which I think is more likely, I can live with that. But let's see what he wants to go for. Does U-turn? Okay. Spike is really annoying. Spike is really annoying. Rilla can come out now. We're stuck in the vortex a little bit. Yeah, my two switch-ins to Moltres U-turn are Swampert and Tyranitar, both of which get U-turned on into Rillaboom again, which brings out Skarmory, which then U-turns into the Rillaboom, then U-turns into Moltres. So he can kind of cycle Rilla into Moltres, Rilla into Moltres, Rilla into Moltres, and at some point I might need to make a call on that. But with Sand Chip, with Helmet Chip, and with Grassy Terrain active as well as my leftovers, I think he's not really coming out of this a whole lot better than we are, other than the Tyranitar. The Tyranitar is the main thing that's getting chipped down here. He could U-turn again. I'm just going to let him if that's what he wants to do. Just going to let him if that's what he wants to do. So we know we're on 158 right now, which is 93%. Goes for the superpower. Puts us down to 91. Superpower. Puts us down to 91. So we were on 93%. We go down by 40 minus 3, 37. He did 37 with that superpower, which looks like a low roll Adamant Band. So very confusing rolls going on here. Either way, I'm pretty sure we take another... Do we take a knock? Do we take a U-turn into another superpower? Yeah, because we're at over 50. What if you max roll both? 7 plus 40. Ooh, it'd be close. I think this is worth it. I think it's worth not roosting here because Moltres is coming back out. And he's going to win this this little cycle that we're playing at the minute. So I think this is worth it. Like, I could have gone for the Spike there to try and shut down the Rillaboom switching in. But with the Grassy Terrain, the Rillaboom is recovering. And he's taking Rocky Helmet Chip. So it's like, I'm getting... I wouldn't benefit as much as I would from the Moltres being chipped down. Because the Moltres isn't getting Grassy Terrain, doesn't have any leftovers on it. Is going to take Sand Chip, but isn't going to take Helmet. So I think this was a better... Now, I could go Swampert here. Depends how much I fear Raikou. I don't like taking a Spike and a U-turn. That's the thing. The U-turn's starting to hurt. Yeah, I'm going to go Swampert because Grassy Terrain's up. So I'll recover off the U-turn. I'll recover off the... I'll recover off the Spike pretty much with leftovers plus Grassy Terrain. Yeah, whereas Tyranitar's just taking so much from that U-turn. I don't feel as though I need Sand as much now because I've got that thing poisoned. And if he had gone for the Flamethrower, I could have got the momentum with Flip Turn, whereas with Tyranitar, he would have then been able to just U-turn out again, and I wouldn't have been able to stop it, so I would have been taking the Flamethrower plus the Spike plus the U-turn. It would have been a lot of chip on T-Tar, so let's play the Swampert instead. Keep this alive. This game's tough. That Spike, much as I was able to kind of counter-lead it, the fact that it brought in this momentum vortex is not ideal. I couldn't really have done much about it, because if I'd gone into a Bomber Snow for the Ice Shard, it would have put us in a similar spot. Okay, so this thing comes out. Interesting. Well, I'm massively Spadef. So I am just going to switch on this thing. I know that's not great for Raikou, but... do I need to do that, actually? I want to get the slow turn rather than go hard into anything. We don't see an item, and obviously we lose the Grassy Terrain recovery, which sucks. Yeah, I can afford this, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so he goes for the Moonblast. I didn't want to predict what he was going to go for there. Doesn't look like very much. I would say that could be Scarf. I'd like to see if leftovers pop this turn, but that could easily be scarfed. That could very easily be scarfed. Yeah, I'm going to go into Rust Bucket because, like, I could go Bomber Snow, get my Hail going and things like that, but this is a very, very free Specs Analytic Volt Switch, and if he's scarfed, okay, it's leftovers. That's fine. So he now can go for the Surf or something like that, but it's not really worth it. Do I want to go for the Volt Switch or the Thunderbolt? I think I'm actually... but Raikou. I'm going to Volt. The leftovers makes me worry about a setup variant, which is why I'm questioning whether to Volt Switch on a potential Calm Mind, but I would still do so much. And yeah, this is the issue. If I'd Thunderbolted into this, I then would have had to bring in my Swampert on an Aura Sphere, if he's got the Aura Sphere, which you would want to hit Magnezone with. And then Swampert's taken a Spike, Aura Sphere, Grassy Terrain isn't up. It's just a lot of chip on the Swampert, which I would rather avoid. Swampert is my play here, though. Tempted, though, I am to go Latias. It's not the time. Swampert's still strong enough with this thing to not really fear anything. Yeah, taking that Moonblast was a little bit regrettable, but I just didn't think that I had a handle on what the Finny wanted to do yet. So I could Stomping Tantrum, I could Flip Turn, I could Ice Beam, I could Scold. I think I'm going to... I think I'm going to Stomping Tantrum. It risks me going back in the Vortex if he goes into Rillaboom. But I get leftovers now, and I get Grassy Terrain. I really like that. Kind of wish I'd Scolded. I kind of wanted to Scold as a middle ground, but I could see the Finny coming out and that just being a really nothing play. I kind of wish I'd Scolded, but this thing's not a huge threat, and the recovery on Rose is too nice to pass up on a Flip Turn. I do risk the Vortex though with Moltres again. Do I call him to U-turn here? Not with Swampert, I don't. It's not a play I can call. Nah, and the only thing I can do to call the U-turn would be to go to Rust Bucket maybe, or to Skarmory again, and neither of those stop Moltres from coming, so it's not really any better. As he goes for the knockoff, right. Perfect. Did he crit me? Oh my god, you've got to be kidding me. Can have all the best EV in the world, boys, but sometimes it's not enough. Fuck! That is the worst fucking time for a crit. I wish you'd crit the superpower before and I could have roosted it off instead of Toxicking. Oh, mother. Let me think. I've not got a lot of time. I could go into like Tyranitar here, take a Spike, lose my leftovers, but at least I would get Rocks up. Keep this as a sack. Because I'm pretty sure he's banded. Motherfucker, I can't believe he got that crit. I can't roost up on anything, but at least I can keep the sack. Lose my leftovers, which I hate, but I can exchange Rocks. And that's worth something. Oh god, that does a lot still. That does a lot still. It's okay, because this isn't the win con. That sucks so bad, man. That sucks so bad. That sucks so bad. Grassy Glide in the end game is going to be really tough. So, I could just Stone Edge here and almost claim one. Finny's going to be the switch in. But I think I'd rather just get Rocks up and chip things down. Finny's going to be the switch in. Oh, I'm gutted with that. It's actually the Persian. That's not so bad. That's not so bad at all. What does Persian want to do to me? Like, play rough? Like, what? I don't know what you want to do to me. I thought it had to be the Finny there for like be able to take the Stone Edge and get some offensive momentum back, but this thing can't really do a lot to me. I don't want to get anything else knocked off or foul played, or doesn't get a fighting move that I'm unaware of. I can't believe that crit. I'm trying not to be salty. I generally don't get salty, but that crit was just like the worst time. Could U-turn. I'm gonna Stone Edge because getting this thing chipped down is pretty nice. Yeah, I thought he would parting shot anyway. I think he's just trying to like get a spike up and pivot. I think his game plan is just hazard up, pivot, and I've got it now. I've got to start calling some of these pivots, otherwise I'm just gonna lose. So even a -1 Stone Edge to Finny, which again I can only see Finny coming out here. Like that's still gonna chunk. So if we can land, so. Which we do see the Finny. Gets rid of the grassy terrain, so we don't get any more leftovers, but he does take rocks, and he does take sand chip, and he doesn't get recovery other than his leftovers, and we get a big Stone Edge off, so yes, and we land. Okay, good. How much does that do? About 30? About 30, so if he was like max HP, and we were at -1... Yeah, he looks like he's around max HP. He looked like he was around max special attack, max HP. So from 100 HP, he has a chance to kill us with Moonblast here. No, I want to sack this to something that's choice locked. That gives me more momentum. Okay, we're going to go into Rust Bucket, because I think he Moonblasts here, and I think that a Bomber Snow is going to be more useful in the end game, given it's got no chip and an Assault Vest, and a lot of his mons are special, and it has priority. Okay, so he does go for the pump, so I get the call wrong on the move. We don't take so much from that. Can we take another? If I have to sack zone, I have to sack zone. Zone isn't... Oh, I suppose it's another good Grassy Glide resist, which I should maybe be thinking about. I'm going to Volt. He's got a Land Pump to kill me. Nah, maybe I should have saved this as another Glide resist, but I think that's going to come down to Ice Shard plus Latias anyway now. Wish I'd got more chip off on the Persian for Lati, but it is a Persian. Tyranitar's still useful, because if we end up sacking something to Moltres, then we get Tyranitar back in. Oh! Alright guys, we'll be back with whatever we do to resolve this. Alright guys, so I'm just interrupting this in the editing, because as I'm watching it back, I realise that I don't explain things very well after this kind of gap in play, so I just wanted to put something in editing that kind of explained things a little bit better. So I'm going to say this a little bit of this anyway in a very fractured way, but big thank you to Q for being such a good guy, being so flexible with the recreation, and really just being very cooperative. We had a tough time, but it was made easier from the fact that we both were just trying to work together to get this done. Basically what happens here is we can't recreate that game. You guys have been watching it. There's a crit on the Skarmory, there's a Stone Edge land, there's a Hydro Pump land, there's all sorts of stuff going on. We just can't land. We can't recreate it. So what we essentially do is, I have some RNG go against me. We say, okay, that'll balance out for the crit that you're probably not going to get. It doesn't really, but it's the best we can do. Then he gets the damage rolls that essentially make it so that he might as well have got the crit. So then the RNG that went against me does suck, although less than the crit did. And then he misses his Hydro Pump, which you're about to see. As I'm finishing this up behind me on the green screen, I'll put him missing the Hydro Pump so that it hopefully fades in a little bit more seamlessly. But what we essentially realised, we were never, with the dodgy internet I was having that day, don't know why, we were never going to be able to get the exact same back, because, I mean, even without dodgy internet, trying to get the crit back was going to be impossible. And in the first game, I got unlucky. Then in the second game, it felt like he was the one probably getting the worst end of the stick. Although, with hindsight, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but that's how it felt. So all this is going on. His Pokemon, it's playing on Wi-Fi, it is what it is. But you're about to see, I do not get my focus back. Like, I do not get my head back in this game with everything going on. I just proper zone in on explaining this poorly and explain the RNG poorly. And so I just really wanted to apologize because the quality of the rest of the video, it might be, I hope it's entertaining anyway, but the quality of my thoughts and everything else are very, very poor. I miss key details on things like an item on the Persian, things like that would completely change this game had I noticed them completely. So yeah, I just really wanted to apologize to you guys for losing my focus, letting this affect me, and I wanted to explain properly that what we just tried to do is get as close to the original as we could. With hindsight, I feel like we should have done something else maybe, but what can you do? What can you do at the end of the day? What can you do? So yeah, I'm going to shut up now, and you'll probably see the Magnezone behind me, and enjoy the rest of the game, hopefully. Alright guys, so we're back. You've probably seen that. I was stretching, I wasn't introducing that properly. This was a bitch. Basically, we couldn't recreate everything. Huge shout out to Q for just being an all-round good guy. We couldn't recreate everything because he crit my Skarmory. This is actually the second recreation because the internet DC'd on the first one. He crit my Skarmory. Oh my god. And now I've crit his fucking thing. Ah. We crit his Skarmory. He crit my Skarmory. We couldn't recreate that. Fuck me. But it turns out he got damage rolls that essentially matched the crit on the Skarmory this time. So that worked out fine. But I missed my Toxic on the Moltres in the recreation, and I said, hey, look, we'll trade that for the crit you're probably not going to get later. But as it happened, the crit didn't even matter, but I missed the Toxic, but then he just missed his Hydro Pump on his Finny. So I just said to him, shall we just keep playing? Like, I've missed my Toxic, you've missed your Hydro Pump. He will definitely feel that the Hydro Pump miss was bigger, and I actually think it probably was. However, had he missed his second Hydro Pump, which he could still have done, we don't know, this actually might work out better, that his Finny doesn't get risked on a Hydro Pump, which he might have gone for, I don't know. And the Toxic miss still could be huge. I do think we've got the better end of the stick here, but we had significantly the worst end of the stick in the first time when we got crit, so it's like, I don't know what to say, you know. It really sucks, it undoubtedly really sucks, but I don't know what else we could have done. And then obviously me getting the crit there was huge. I've now rushed the flip turn play, which wasn't really my play talking about this, but it's fine. Okay, it does kill, so we're fine. So maybe, you know, maybe if he wouldn't have left the Finny in, he would have gone Raikou anyway. Maybe it's just saved, you know, some other place. I don't know. The recreations are a bitch. It's just, it is what it is. I need to have something out here that I can do something with, that I can switch in on other things with. I think that's Rust Bucket. So yeah, huge sorry to Q if you're watching, man. He's a very cool guy, and he's been very cool about this whole thing. It's that kind of thing where, like, he got the hacks in the first playthrough on the crit, so anything we do to try and balance it now is gonna favor me, and then it makes it look like I'm like, well, I guess this is not a bad thing, and it's like, of course it's a bad thing. Like, I want the game to be the original game, but it was very hard. I mean, I guess if I'd missed my Stone Edge, but then I still miss my Toxic as well. I don't know. There's just no fair way to do a recreation with Stone Edge, Hydro Pump, Toxic, and a crit thrown in for good measure. There's just no way. As it happens, my Skarmory is now at the range of health where it dies to this thing clicking another knockoff for whatever reason, which we weren't in the original one because we calced it. We just had more health in the other one, so so it still essentially sucks. I still would have played this very differently. So I think he has to superpower here. I think I'm going to sack Rose because I don't know what Rose does anymore other than live a hit from Moltres. But then so does Barney. Yeah, I think I'm going to sack Rose. I'm super shook up, which is making me not play well. Let's get focused. Let's stop apologizing for the hacks. It's not my fault. I can't do anything about an RNG-filled game. Alright, so that puts him at -1. I feel like this is going to be one of those situations where after the game, like, neither of us are going to be really happy because neither of us really got the game we wanted in the end, and we both agreed. Like, we hopped in call and we spoke, and it was a fantastic game. Like, it was a really good game so far. I'm just going to I'm gonna Calm Mind. I want to Aura Sphere predicting the Persian, but I'm also like, it's a Persian. Yeah, like, it's a Persian, and if you went Finny, that would have been more annoying. I don't know what this thing does. Like, what do you do? Like, is he banded? And if he is banded, like, do I care? Maybe I should have Aura Sphered and then scouted for a band here. That feels like what I should have done. Because he could easily be like Switcheroo Choice Band. Switcheroo would be really annoying here. Choice Band and Knockoff wouldn't kill me. Switcheroo would be really annoying. But I think it's okay. So I'm going to go for the Knockoff. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm going to go for the Aura Sphere. Got rid of my lefties. If this doesn't KO, we can actually roost off that Aura Sphere, that Knockoff. I didn't want to go for another Calm Mind. Okay, he does live. We can actually roost that off them. Unless he has, like, Crunch or something, but I don't think he does. He's got Parting Shot, Knockoff. I'm going to gamble on that being his move to hit this. I don't think this kills. Oh, fuck! I should have calced that. Oh, that was a huge choke by me. Because I'm fucking rattled, man. I'm annoyed with myself. Sorry for the language. I'm very annoyed with myself. I'm very annoyed with myself. Wow, I'm shocked that killed. That looks like a big fat roll. Looks like a big fat roll. 26. Knock off into itemless. 14%. Foul play. I probably wouldn't have been able to do this in the original, but I've got to go for this now. I think he looks like he needs an absolute max roll to KO us here. An absolute max roll to kill us here, so. Wouldn't have been able to do that in the original because we were at lower health, but then in the original, none of this would have played out the way it was, so there's no fucking point talking about the original. Get your head in the game, come on. Man, Wi-Fi, eh? The joys of LAN and Wi-Fi. Okay, now think. He needs to Parting Shot, and he needs to Parting Shot into Finny. So, do you just roost, or do you spike? You spike. You're not Toxicking because he's going Finny. I don't believe for 1 minute he's going Moltres. Because Toxic would be... Well, he could, but... And if he does, fuck, I'm in such a bad place on the Moltres now without Lati. I'm in such a bad place without Lati. I should have recovered on the... Oh, he does go Moltres, son of a bitch. How do I beat this without Lati? Haha, I love that I threw out my answers to this. Oh, mate, this game's just gone to absolute shit. Oh, this game's fallen apart. I've fallen apart. I don't think we can win. I don't think we can win. Persian, we've seen take Rock's chip, so it's dead to hazards. Unless this thing is defog. If this thing is defog, I'm about to be stunned. Okay, overheat. Good tech, I like it. So we get Tiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiilll wasn't that necessary. Maybe that was greedy of me. Because looking at this, Skarmory isn't even that important for the rest of the game. Like, Magnezone was way more important for the Finny. It's going to be on a Bombasno's shoulders, but this thing is going to beat me. Like, this thing is fully going to beat me. He should just U-turn here. And he can U-turn into... Will Rilla be in range of you after... How much do you take from U-turn? This is so bad. U-turn does 30 to 40. And will Rilla even be in range of Ice Shard? I think it's my only play. I'm gonna take I don't know, I'm gonna take Sand. But otherwise Moltres came in on the Skarm, which was my other switch into U-turn. Because I've got to keep Tiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiii keep Tiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiil I've got to hope that Rilla taking Spike plus Rocks plus Shard plus Hail picks this thing off. It's a big hope. It's a big hope. Otherwise, I just lose this thing. Because he's going to U-turn, so I can't go Skarmory, otherwise that just gives Moltres another kill. Okay, the cat comes out. I forgot he could sack this still and get Moltres back in as well. I don't think I kill you from here, do I? I thought this thing was lower. I thought this thing was a lot lower. How did it get so healthy? Wasn't it at, like, nothing after the... How did it get so healthy? Was it grassy terrain? Oh, I'm not focused at all. I know nothing about this. Fucking hell. I'm going to lose on timer anyway, even with the extra timer, just because I've been so shook by this recreation thing. Ice Shard's doing 10 if he's max HP. I think he's just going to Parting Shot. I think I'm going to Giga. He foul plays, okay. Oh, don't do too much. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. Do I live a Spike after that? Oh, fuck. I think I've lost. Man, I'm fuming with this. It's not like, obviously, huge GG to Q. He's prepped amazing. He's played awesome. He's played really, really well. But what I'm really annoyed with is myself, because I've just got, like, you guys will have seen. I don't need to tell you. You've been watching this. It's probably been infuriating watching it because I've just lost my head since we came back. All right, I've got one hope here, and the Ice Shard picks this thing off. I don't know why he went this instead of Moltres. I've got no idea why he went this instead of Moltres. I guess not to let Skarm heal back up again. I have to hope Shard picks this thing off, and then I get Grassy Terrain recovery, and then I still lose to endgame fucking Finny. I can't beat endgame Finny. None of this matters. I can't beat endgame Finny. When I let this thing take a foul play, I can no longer beat endgame Finny. So... Using my leftovers on Tyranitar. Fucking hell. Right, so... Imagine... 27. How much time have I got? 1 minute 20. Okay, I'm just going to use it all on this turn, because everything comes on this turn. 27, I've got 16. I can live a Spike, but I can't live I can't live any hits, and everything's faster than me. So let's Ice Shard. He either has to overheat or U-turn, and that could do something for me. So... Let's Ice Shard, get that good chip. Get that good crit. Now, I don't think I can win, because if I go Skarmory here, he can just go straight back out to the Moltres. I could double T-Tar, but I take a Spike, and the Grassy Terrain isn't up, and if he decides to stay in and hit me, then I'm dead. And then I definitely lose to Moltres. Does this thing die to 2 spikes and rocks after it comes back in? 12, 18... There's no way I take 2 pumps, right? There's no way I take 2 pumps. So if I think he's switching out, I have to spike. And if I think he's staying in, I have to roost. Oh, I'm so annoyed with this. Not with this, but with myself. Like, it's not, you know, it's me. 96. I'm not going to outrun him. What I do, I know what I do. I definitely roost. The reason being, if he pumps, I can potentially live. I do live. The problem is going to be the fucking hail. When does hail go down? Because what I'm thinking is that if I can get my sturdy back. Hail goes down now. Awesome. Oh, but he's not going to die to fucking hazards now. Oh, do I spike now, predicting him to switch out? If he gets any more range... No, it's fine, because I can spike twice if he gets any more health. I got a Roost, Spike... Oh, he's CC. He's Carmine, sorry. I got a Whirlwind. But then I can't beat with T-Tar. Okay, I have to get to full... I have to spike, then Whirlwind. I need to get another spike up and hope that this thing dies to... I might have to get 2 spikes up because of how much he's just recovering at a rate faster than I can spike. But if I get lucky, I can dodge some pumps and stall out terrain, Toxic and Roost Storm, maybe. Okay. This is 2 spikes. He's just getting so healthy, man. This is 3 spikes. I kind of want to roost here, like predicting the pump. He misses. Okay, amazing. Because I think terrain goes down. That's very lucky, but you know that's where we're at right now. Now, do I just spam Roost and try and stall out Hydro Pump? I know he's clicked it 3 times. How much PP does Hydro Pump have? 8. He's got 5 left. I don't think that's the line that I can take. I think I have to Toxic. Hope he misses. Nah, he doesn't miss. Okay, that's GG then. That's GG unless he misses the next one. That's GG unless he misses the next one. I think I played to my outs. I can't think of anything else I could have done. Maybe I should have Whirlwinded immediately with Skarm if this thing was in range of 1 Rikes and 1 Spikes and 1 Rocks, and then, but it wasn't. So I got it wrong. I got it wrong here. I got it wrong with the Bomber Snow. I got it wrong with Latias. Like I threw away all of my win conditions, which is just, you can't do that. So I have to Whirlwind because I don't live even after a Roost. I'd have to dodge 2 pumps. Alright, Draining Kisses, so that's GG. It was GG anyway. I'm gutted, lads. I'm gutted. I feel like Q. Let me say this, and I always make a point of this. Q fully deserves a win. Q has played very, very well. He's brought great sets. He fully deserves the win. I'm really, really frustrated with myself because, like, I know I'm rusty. I know I've had a break, but this was like just not good enough. It was just not good enough, and there's no real 2 ways around it. I guess my hope here is that he goes for the pump rather than the Draining Kiss and misses. That's what I'm banking on, but that would be a choke. Like, That would be a choke, because then I'm not sure U-turn kills me from Moltres. So yeah, imagine a world with no DCs and no crits, boys. This game, maybe we could have had a shot, but I don't know. Q deserves a win regardless, so I don't even want to go down that line, because I should have just played better. Even after that, I shouldn't have got rattled. I shouldn't have got phased, and I did. So yeah, that's game. With 4 seconds left on my timer, that's game. Man, this one's tough. I don't generally, like, you guys, if you follow the channel for a long time, sorry if you're new here, you'll know, like, I don't generally get salty after losses. I'm dropping the GG because it was a very good game. I don't usually get salty after losses, and I never get salty with my opponents after losses, and it's very true here. Like, you deserve to win, man. Good prep, good play, good everything, but I can't not be frustrated by that, because in the same, and this is what I was saying earlier in the video, and maybe I didn't say it very eloquently because I was so all over the place when we came back to the recording, but basically I knew whatever happened in this game, one of us, whoever lost, would end up feeling unhappy, because at the point where we had to do the recreation, at the point where there was so much hacks involved in the first version, there was never going to be a situation where the losing party didn't feel aggrieved, unless I had come back to this recreation, played flawlessly, I guess, and then still lost. But I knew in myself that if I lost, because my head was so rattled, I would be unhappy, because, not with Q, but with what happened. I knew I'd be gutted about that, and then if he lost, of course, he would have felt like, well, in the original, you know, I'd got the crit on Skarmory or whatever, so maybe I wouldn't have lost. With hindsight, I got way too zoned in on the fact that the Skarmory had health back now when the Rillaboom was so low. I had the Ice Shard on a Bombasnow for the Rillaboom. I had Latias that could take a Grassy Glide, and I really just centered in on this idea of like, okay, now I can get Skarmory roosted up, because I think because the crit in the first game got in my head so much that I was like, this is an opportunity, like, you got to take it. So yeah, I just made a big mistake, really. Just made a big mistake in the play. The prep was good, nothing wrong there. Thank you to Strongful for helping me prep, but yeah, I don't know, guys. This season's been 2 games where I've just felt really frustrated with myself to lose, because I can do better. And even when we were doing the recreation, watching this game back, I was watching it and I was like, I'm not playing like me when I'm watching this game. Like, I'm playing like someone else, because I didn't call any of the pivots. I didn't call anything. I really just played so safe and so boring. And yeah, I'm disappointed in that. So anyway, next week we'll be back. Hopefully I'll have found my testicles. We'll make some plays and we'll get a win, hopefully. Thank you so much for loafing around with me. Huge GG to Q. Go and check him out in the description. QtheCostaRican, very, very good guy. Very, very good guy. We hopped in cool. Very nice to talk to as well. Go check him out. Thank you so much for loafing around with me, and I'll catch you again next time.